What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bayou Bandit Charters. On this week's episode, we'll be targeting flounder in the marsh, but we'll be using a tandem rig. There's a lot of benefits to using a tandem rig. We're going to go over all those later on in the video. Talk about my setup, the weights I'm using on my jig heads. This is a great rig to use when you're targeting flounder. You see a lot of people using this rig for speckled trout fishing, but I'm going to show y'all today on this video ways to use it when targeting flounder, especially when you're fishing by yourself on the boat and you don't know what color you want to throw. Maybe you don't know what bait you want to throw. A tandem rig is a great option for dialing in on the fish to find out exactly what they want. If you love fishing along the Alabama and Mississippi Gulf Coast, give my channel a subscribe. I put out a video every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock fishing along the Alabama and Mississippi Gulf Coast. Enough talking, let's get in here, rip some lips on some flounder. We've had a ton of rain over the last 3 days, so the water isn't the best in the world. Normally, when we got stained water, I throw the chartreuse color, but being I have this tandem rig, I'm gonna also be throwing the white. I'm gonna see what they like, get dialed in on these fish. We've got a west wind blowing today, not too bad, blowing about probably 7 or 8 out of the west. We've got a falling tide. We've got about 87-degree water temperature. Water has a tannic look to it, but it really isn't as muddy as I was expecting it to be. We're fishing an area today that I have never flounder fished before. I'm familiar with the area. It's got a lot of creek drains and stuff in it, but I have just never flounder fished it. All right, here we go, got a fish. There we go, already. Just like that, we got us a flounder. Did not take long at all. I figured there would be one off of that point. Points are great places to target flounder. All right, there we go. Now he wanted the white. We are keeping fish today, and that is a 15-inch flounder. He will be going in the box. All right, let's get in here, see if we can catch some more flounder. I'm not going to change out to the white yet. I want to see if that's a reoccurring pattern, if I keep catching the flounder on the white and not the chartreuse. Yeah, that guy was hanging right off the tip of this point. Those are great places to target flounder. Points and creek drains. It was a subtle bite. He just grabbed hold of that bait, held onto it, and started slowly swimming out to deeper water. We're just giving that jig a little bump pause. Just letting it bounce off the bottom. Really like how those two baits work together on that tandem rig. You want one cast to overlap the last cast where you're not missing any area of shoreline. There we go. Look at there. I threw right up in that little creek drain. I thought I was hung. I caught that little guy. And once again, on the white. We'll be letting him go. He's a little on the short side. Probably a legal fish, but we'll have to see. He is a legal fish at 13.5 inches, but we're gonna let him go, let him grow up and get bigger. All right, we're developing a pattern. Once again, we caught a flounder on the white and not the chartreuse. Was that just a coincidence or not? I don't know. Let's catch one more flounder before we decide. Right there, right there. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, another one. That is 3 flounder on the white. That is more than a coincidence, for sure. All right, another flounder sitting on right at 14 inches. He is a legal fish, but we're gonna let him go as well. All right, that is why I like throwing a tandem rig. If you're undecided about what bait color you want to use or what bait you want to use, tie on a tandem rig, give it a try. I really like it. I'm gonna be doing some more videos here in the near future, doing some experiments, using different brand baits, different colors, maybe a fluke versus a curly tail versus a paddle tail. So if you like this type of fishing content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. It'll really help my channel grow. All right, we're fixing to go over the way I tie a tandem setup. May be different than the way you do it, or different from the way you've seen other people do it. I get about 4 foot of 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. That's what I use. What I do, I go ahead and tie both of my jig heads on each end of the line, and I tie it with a loop knot. Be sure to tie a loop knot, especially when you're flounder fishing. Of course, I do on all my jig heads. That gives that bait a whole lot more action. The way I do it is I use a 1/4 ounce jig head on the long one, and I use a 1/16 on my upper one, or my shorter one. I like doing that because the different weight in the jig heads will give that bait a little bit different action versus the other jig head, which gives it a more natural look, in my opinion. The two baits, when they're jigged together in tandem, they have different actions on each other. And then to finish my rig up, I'll get my jig heads spaced out, because I've got them tied to each end of the line. I get them spaced out the way I want to. And then I simply come in here and I'll go around twice like that, and then back through and pull it down. That's the knot I like using. It's doubled, it's very, very strong, and it holds up well. And then I just simply tie an improved clinch knot on to my leader. All right, I am fixing to make a change. I'm going to swap that tap out color out for a smackdown, which is the bright pink color. We're going to try that, see which one, to see if they'll still hit the white or if they prefer the pink. I know they're not wanting the green today, so we can take that guy off. If you're fishing by yourself, this is a great way to get on the fish. You know, your mindset will be, okay, the water is stained, right? You're gonna put that chartreuse on. I might not have caught a fish yet just using that chartreuse. When you use that tandem rig, you got a lot of options, different bait options, different color options, a lot more options to dial in on the fish. And that's why that tandem rig is so beneficial to have in your arsenal when you're flounder fishing. All right, let's get back in here, see if we can catch some more flounder. And if you're new to flounder fishing, be sure to check that video out right there. It is a beginner's guide to flounder fishing. I have got a ton of flounder fishing content on my channel and a lot more to come. All right, this is a beautiful little drain, beautiful little Grenache. Got that little point right there on it. That is an excellent, excellent place for a flounder to be laying. Something hit it. Oh, yep, I told you. I caught it. I caught it. Telling you, those little creek drains are money. Ah, there we go. And he hit the pink. He did not hit the white. He hit the pink. That's a better fish. Absolutely a better fish. Right in the mouth of that Trenache and that creek drain. 17-inch flounder. He will be going in the box as well. That goes to show you, folks, those tandem rigs need to be in your arsenal. You know, we narrowed it down to the white. We caught 3 flounder on the white, and instead of changing everything over to white, I said, let me try that pink. So, you know, white's caught all the flounder but 1, but we haven't been fishing with that pink for long. So, you know, I really do like throwing a tandem rig when I'm targeting flounder. It's twice the action, twice the vibration, and like I said before, you can experiment with different colors with the different baits and see what the fish are keying in on that given day. There is a few downsides to the tandem rig. I wouldn't throw a tandem rig in areas that has a lot of hang-ups like rocks and wood and stuff like that, because you've got the potential of losing a lot of terminal tackle, a lot of jig heads, and a lot of baits. I like it in the marsh. I can get my baits unhung fairly easy in this shallow water. It's a little bit harder to feel the bite with a tandem rig than just a single jig head, because you do have that other bait that's there dragging as well. But you know, it doesn't take that long. You can figure it out. If you're used to flounder fishing, just be mindful of that and you shouldn't have any issues. All right, I called that one, folks. He was right here. I don't know if y'all can see that crab trap, but I pulled that bait right past the edge of that crab trap. That's where he was laying flounder-like structure. He had nosed up right to the corner of that crab trap. With this water coming out, this falling tide, he had structure and he had a place where he could ambush and attack bait. And he thumped it too. He wasn't playing around. All right, let's see if we can catch one more flounder before we call this video. There we go. There we go. Another flounder. Oh, he got off. Oh, I had a bad hook set on him. But he was on the white. He was right off that point. I thought I was hung up. Did not have a good hook set at all on that fish. 100% my fault, because that fish was right where he was supposed to be. All right, everybody, we're fixing to wrap this video up. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I've got a ton of flounder fishing content already on my channel, a ton more to come. Really had a good time out here this afternoon throwing that tandem rig. If y'all hadn't ever thrown a tandem rig before, something I suggest you trying. You can find the exact bait and color that those fish want for that given day. If y'all have any ideas for more videos on using a tandem rig, like this bait versus that bait, or this style bait versus that style bait, whatever, leave a comment. If I've got a bunch of people wanting me to do a video throwing a particular bait versus fish bites, whatever, I will do it. If you like the video, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I've got a ton of new subscribers. I want to thank each and every one of y'all. I appreciate it. The channel is growing strong, and that really motivates me to keep on out here every week and get y'all weekly content on my channel. And as always, if you didn't see me in the bayou, you can see me right here on Bayou Bandit Charters every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. Thank y'all. See y'all next week.